A private investigator reveals 4 clear signs that your husband is cheating on you. Number 4. Angry attitude. Some people are naturally angry or have short tempers, but if the man you married was calm and collected for the most of the marriage, and you suddenly see a change of attitude when you ask him questions, especially when his phone rings, he may be cheating. The reason he is acting out is that he may be trying to hide his guilt by making you feel guilty for asking such a question. Cheaters often find manipulative ways to make their partner feel guilty about being suspicious. If you suspect that your husband is cheating on you, analyze his behavior. See if he reacts differently to certain things you say or certain situations he is in. If he is lashing out and accusing you of jumping to conclusions, it may be a sign that he is cheating. If your husband is starting to act out of the ordinary and you just don't understand why, talk to him about it. If he refuses to talk to you about it or begins to act angry, it's a clear sign that something is wrong. It may not necessarily mean that he is cheating, but it probably does mean that there is something going on in his life that he isn't telling you about, which is a red flag in itself. Keep watching for other signs that may mean your husband is cheating on you, and then make a judgment call on your own. Number 3. Appearance. When you get married, you will slowly put less effort into making yourself look presentable. I'm talking more about your life after work. It would be crazy to go into work in sweatpants and a t-shirt, right? But for instance, if your husband is going out with the guys and you notice that he starts putting on cologne more often or is getting his hair cut more frequently, he might be trying to impress someone else. This is especially true if he's spending less time with you. If you notice that your husband doesn't really try to dress up or spruce himself up when you two are going out together, or even when you're just having dinner at home, but he gets dressed up when he's going out, it could be a major red flag. It's true that many couples tend to lose themselves after they get married and reach a certain level of comfort with their significant other. But sometimes this can lead to the demise of a relationship. Couples should always work to improve each other, and if it gets to the point where they don't care about how they look when they are with each other, it's a big sign that the marriage may begin to fall apart. If you notice that your husband is acting out of the ordinary by getting dressed up when he is going out without you, well, don't jump to conclusions immediately. Number 2. Cell phone. If your husband isn't cheating, then he will have no problem handing over his cell phone or tablet for you to use. It has to be a valid reason for you to want to use it though. You can't get mad if he says no if your sole purpose is to snoop through his things. But if your reason is valid and he gets defensive, you might want to have a serious talk with him about why. Although 2 people should always trust each other in a relationship, especially in a marriage, if you notice that your husband is being more secretive while using his phone, or is constantly on his phone when it doesn't really seem necessary, this may be a red flag. In the event that you finally give in and ask to see his phone, see how he reacts. Check to see if he tries to stall a few minutes. This might mean that he is quickly trying to delete things on his phone. If he willingly gives you the phone like it's no big deal, you're probably in the clear. Again, trust is such an important part of a marriage. And the only time you should ask to see your husband's phone is if you are 100% sure that he is cheating on you. Many people use their phones for business reasons, or even to speak to their families about personal things. So if your husband refuses to give you his phone, it may be for that reason. Remember, don't always jump to conclusions. It is always important to first communicate with your partner if you think he or she may be cheating on you. It could be possible that he is going through some things that he isn't telling you about. If you establish open lines of communication with your husband, you may be able to avoid situations where you are suspicious of his actions. Number 1. Going out. Every couple or marriage needs a date night. It's the one night where you will do everything in your power to show your spouse that you love them. But if your husband constantly has other plans on date night, he might be afraid of being seen with you by someone he might be having an affair with. If you notice that your husband is always skipping out on date night, try to find out why. If he chooses to go out with friends or on his own without you, it is a big sign that he may be cheating. Partners who love each other cherish the time that they get to spend together. But if your husband no longer wants to spend that time with you, it may mean that he is no longer valuing the relationship, which could mean that he's cheating. And although it is perfectly normal and healthy for couples to spend time apart from each other once in a while, if it gets to the point where your husband is constantly choosing to go out with his friends over spending time with you, it may mean that he's cheating. One thing to remember, these signals could mean absolutely nothing. You never want to jump to conclusions. It would create an unnecessary problem. However, if you do start to notice these signs and a pattern, do not ignore them, but do not act irrationally. Talk to your husband and find out what is going on. You may also want to seek help from a professional to talk about how you feel and what you are going through. A therapist can help you talk about your feelings and emotions, and may even be able to tell you if you are jumping to conclusions or not. Couples therapy is also a great idea for partners who are having trouble communicating. In the event that you think your husband is cheating, try communicating and/or seeking help first. It could save the relationship and save you and your husband from fights or misunderstandings. 2 key elements to keep a happy relationship. If you are going to have a successful relationship, you will need to trust the person you are with. This is the #1 key element to a happy relationship. The reason for this is that if you don't trust your other half, you will be constantly worried about what they are doing or who they are talking to. Anytime they want to go out with their friends, you will be worried that they're cheating on you. You have to establish trust. The second key element is communication. You have to be able to talk about anything with your partner, because if you don't, things that you have bottled up inside could trigger an outburst. So talk to your partner, no matter how uncomfortable the topic may be. It will be beneficial in the long run. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It can be full of love, happiness, and can eventually lead to starting a family. But with all the positive aspects of a marriage, there are also negatives. They can range from disagreements regarding money, parenting, household chores, the list goes on. David King, who is the managing director of Lipstick Investigations, states that about 80% of women who contact him are correct when thinking that their husband is cheating on them. The reason is that they have the ability to spot certain details their husbands do not care about. The important thing, though, is that the couple tries to work out the differences together. After all, both parties took a vow when they were married, so it shouldn't be that hard, right? Wrong. Differences are what make a marriage difficult and in some cases end it. How could the marriage end? Well, one way would be cheating. Society has portrayed the male sex as the most likely to cheat out of the two. So according to a private investigator, if you notice certain signs, your husband may be cheating on you. Have you ever been cheated on? What warning signs were there that you ignored? Let us know in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this video? Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching.